Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you one of my favourite gesso techniques with Brusho. These are Brushos. They are powdered colours that come in little pots. I have a large box of them. You get all sorts of colours, all the blues, the greens. You even get mixtures where you get sort of specks and dots of different colours blended into others. And you'll see that when I start using them. So we're going to be using Brusho. Seal that up again. We're going to be using white gesso. I like this one because it's thick. I can water it down if I want to. So this is the one that I prefer to use. We're going to use school glue, Elmers. I've got a couple of trusty old brushes and I'm going to be using Chipboard. So if I just move the Brusho out of the way for a minute, I've cut myself a piece of chipboard, cut it whatever size you like. I'm using the jumbo tattered floral die because you need a steel rule die to be able to cut this sort of thickness of chipboard. And I've made myself some leaves and I'm going to sort of set it out the way that I like it, and I'm going to glue all of these pieces down using Elmer's glue and leave them to dry, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've glued all my pieces down, and what I decided to do was use some twisted newspaper, just a strip of newspaper, and you twist it. You can also do the same thing with leaflets if you want to. And I spiraled it and made a center for the flower and glued it down, all Elmer's glue again. And I also made a stem to go down there for the leaves. And this is going to dry and I'll be back when it is. Okay, that's now nice and dry, and I'm now going to use my trusty old brush, and I'm going to be using some gesso, and I'm going to paint the whole thing over with gesso. I just pick it up on my brush like this and put it on, and I'll come back when I've finished. Okay, so I've finished painting the whole thing with gesso, and I've actually used my brush to add texture. I just hit the surface and allow peaks to form, and you just generally play around with it until you get what you like, and that's always what crafting should be about. It should be about what you like. And so you can see there that the newspaper that I used to create the stem is all covered, and so is the twist of newspaper in the center of the flower there. Try to get as close up so that you can see. I've said in other videos the reason that I love this gesso is because it's so thick and so textured. So this is going to take a few hours to dry, and when it does I'll be back to show you the Brusho technique. Okay, I'm back and my piece is now dry. I've got some kitchen paper, kitchen towel should I need it. I've got my squirty bottle, and the colours that I'm using are lemon, orange, gamboge, violet, Prussian blue, turquoise, leaf green and sea green. So those are the colours that I have chosen. Of course you can choose whichever colours you want to. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my pale colour first, and I'm going to be putting that into the centre of the flower and on the edges of my leaves. But first of all I'm going to squirt my piece with water because I want my colour to get everywhere. So I'm going in with lemon into the centre there of my flower. I then want to go around that with some orange, and then again with some gamboge. So I've got those wonderful colours going on there, and then I want to start to pick up the colour that I'd like to choose for my flower. Actually I'm going to put a little bit more lemon there, and I want to go around the edges with some turquoise, You can see the colours are starting to run away from the surface there. I really like this technique. And then I'm going to add some Prussian blue and break up some of that orange. This one is quite dark. So that's where I've got that. And then my strongest colour, violet, I'm just dropping a little bit around the edges of the petals. And that's enough for me. And I'm going to squirt once more, very gently, and allow those colours to just run and take hold there. Any white spaces that you dislike about a project that you're working on, you can always go in and touch those up afterwards. Sometimes using metallics can be quite nice. Now my camera's looking a bit blurred, so I'm going to try and get in close there. I don't know why it should be doing that. Let's pick my piece up and see if, there we go. There's a real close-up of all those wonderful colours that you'll get running around inside your gesso. Sometimes your finished piece can actually look like an oil painting, and of course the gesso helps that. See, as I move it from side to side, but I don't actually want to do that because I want to keep my colours there in position. Now as my camera is playing up, I'm going to work down, so I'll just slide it up and out of the way so that you can see what I'm going to do with my stem. And I'm going to go in and apply some water there and across the leaves because I'm going to be doing those now. And for those colours I'm choosing sea green and leaf green, and also lemon. So first of all I want to go to my light points, which are going to be here for me, and I've put some lemon in there, and then I'm going in with my leaf green, and the colour once again will just start to run and it just looks lovely. And then I'm going in with my sea green, which has a hint of blue to it. And sometimes, I don't know, I can see little crystals of red in there as well. So that's what I've done for my leaf, and I'm just going to spritz it again, just very gently, just get those colours mingled. And now for my background, I hadn't really decided on a colour, and I suppose a traditional colour would be blue. But I think I'm going to try and be brave here and go for a red. So I just need to choose which one, because you get 3 different types here. And in fact, I think I'm going to go for scarlet. I think that might sort of enhance the blue. And just gently spray again where you want to put your powder. And I do apologise that a lot of this is off camera, but it is it's a 12-inch piece and I'm trying to get as close as I can. And now I'm going to go in with the scarlet, and having this dark rich red down here doesn't really matter, of course, because the piece is dimensional. It's going to stay in this area. It's not going to run back up into anything where you don't want it to be. It's going to stay there on its flat surface. And I really am quite happy with that. And I'm just going to get it going again in amongst that green. Just get some really nice bright colour. I don't have much going on this edge here, and I think that maybe I want to introduce a little more turquoise. So that's what I'm going to do, and it will catch the run of the water as it works its way around there. And I've got a dry area down at the bottom that you can't see. I'm just going to move my piece up so that you can see how brilliant all of those colours are. and how they just bleed out and through each other. I've got some lovely runs and drips of colour, and of course I don't want to make mud, and I've got my kitchen paper ready here to wipe up and mop up all of the drips, because I don't want to completely saturate the piece underneath, because of course it is chipboard, so I don't want it to have to take a week to dry. So that's what I've done so far, and it is quite brilliant. I'm going to put some more lemon in the center there, just sufficient to absorb into any water that I have left. I'm really pleased with that effect, and I think for me personally the only thing left to do is the flower stem. So I'm just going to go in with a little more water, and I'm going to use leaf green only on this. I want to be able to see it, but I don't quite want it as dark as the sea green. And I'm going up there into the blue area, and that will bleed out and start to mix when I spray it again now. And of course the stem is made from the twisted newspaper. So there we've got some more lovely green running out. Now I'm going to leave this to dry, and I will come back and show you anything that I may need if I feel that I need to finish this off. My piece is now almost dry, and I feel that for me personally that's as far as I want to take this, and I will try and get in to give you some close up there of the colour, the texture, and of course the depth, and that's what it looks like. See the texture in the leaves there, and that twisted newspaper, you know, as the flower stem, which if you get leaflets and flyers and stuff, you can create things like that, and they won't cost you any money at all. So a nice bit of upcycling. And if I can get you to the top there, keeping it in camera, and I'm very happy with that. I hope you enjoyed how I enjoy using Brusho, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.